Imagine you're a king in ancient Greece, or Egypt, or Persia, or really anywhere that thinks it's the center of the universe, which, to be fair, was everyone back then. Now imagine you've got a problem. Knowledge is scattered everywhere. Scrolls in temples, texts in private collections, wisdom locked behind borders, languages, and egos. And you think to yourself, what if I just put everything in one place? Congratulations, you've just invented the Library of Alexandria. Also, congratulations, you've unknowingly created the world's first version of the internet. And spoiler alert, it ends badly. So let's rewind. Alexandria was founded by Alexander the Great, who conquered half the known world and then immediately died, which is a bold project management strategy. After his death, one of his generals, Ptolemy I, took over Egypt and decided that military power was nice, but intellectual flexing was nicer. He wanted Alexandria to be the capital of knowledge. Not just Greek knowledge, all knowledge. The plan was simple, terrifying, and very effective. Every ship that entered the port of Alexandria was searched. If it had books on board, the books were taken away. Scribes did the copying, and sometimes not returned. The originals were kept. The copies were sent back. Alexandria did not apologize. Over time, texts poured in from everywhere. Mathematics from Babylon, astronomy from Egypt, medicine from India, philosophy from Greece. At its peak, the library may have held hundreds of thousands of scrolls. Which doesn't sound impressive until you remember that every scroll had to be written by hand by a human. With opinions. This place wasn't just shelves and silence either. It was a research institute. Scholars lived there, argued there, invented things there. This is where Euclid laid down geometry, where Eratosthenes calculated the circumference of the Earth almost perfectly, using shadows and vibes, where someone figured out that the brain, not the heart, does the thinking, which was controversial at the time. In other words, humanity was cooking. And then, like all good stories involving massive amounts of human knowledge, someone set it on fire. Except, here's the twist. It didn't burn down once. It probably burned down several times. Slowly, awkwardly, bureaucratically. One fire may have happened when Julius Caesar accidentally torched part of the harbor. Another during Christian riots centuries later. Another after Muslim conquest. Maybe. Historians still argue about who did what, when, and how much was lost each time, which is tragically fitting because the records explaining this were in the library. What we do know is that over centuries, funding dried up, scholars left, scrolls decayed, and knowledge, which needs maintenance like anything else, quietly vanished. No explosion, no final boss fight, just neglect. And that's the truly scary part. The Library of Alexandria didn't disappear because knowledge was dangerous. It disappeared because it stopped being prioritized. So when people say the ancient world was less advanced, remember this. They knew the Earth was round. They mapped the stars. They debated atomism. They almost had steam engines. And then they forgot. Which makes the Library of Alexandria less like a tragedy and more like a warning. Because every time knowledge is centralized, underfunded, politicized, or taken for granted, we're basically recreating Alexandria, just with better fonts. And that's why when we talk about lost knowledge, burnt books, and vanished wisdom, we're still quietly standing in the ashes of that library. If you enjoyed watching humanity almost figure everything out and then promptly forget it, you'll probably enjoy what comes next. Subscribe to Pix of the Past. We upload stories that history holds, one pixel at a time.